morning, guys. It's your old pal Jordan the Lion. Nope, I'm not wearing these sunglasses for a special vlog. I just picked them up last night in Santa Monica, and I just thought they were cool. I thought they were very quirky, and I liked them, so I was like, hey, I'll show these guys. I'm sure at some point I'll end up giving them away, but for now they're mine. So Ja is not here. Ja spent the night with Pollyanna last night, so that's what we're going to do right now. We're actually going to head over, grab him, and then figure out what we're going to vlog today. I really had not thought it out, and today I'm just gonna go with the flow. I always have a million ideas saved, and I can pretty much do any of them any given time, and I thought today, let's just pick up John and see where the day takes us, see what happens. Daze with Jordan the Lion begins now. Well, let's find my little buddy. He must be out for a walk. There they are! Hi! Hi, how are you? How are you two? Oh, that was really nice of you. I came home and had a little package from Amazon, and it was an extra memory card. And it says, I wanted to send you a guitar sweep kit for cleaning your guitars, but you can always use this. I enjoy your vlogs with my sister Ray, Anita Bergner. Thank you, Anita, and thank you, Ray, for watching. Well, that was a first. When I went to take you home, you kind of didn't want to leave. You kind of wanted to go back upstairs with Pollyanna. You must have been having fun. But now you're home and you're kind of gassed out. That always happens when you go over there for the night because you end up playing all night and chasing each other. So I'll go out and do the vlog, and then I'll take you out later and we'll go to a park. What do you think of that? Does that sound good to you? Well, I decided what we're going to do today. Where we're headed to now is right next to the Comedy Store. Well, today we're going to take it back in time and explore one of the buildings here on the Sunset Strip. And it's not this. We've been here before. Well, long before it was the Comedy Store, this was Ciro's nightclub. But that's not what we're gonna vlog today. We're actually gonna vlog something right next door that kind of captures the essence of the Sunset Strip with its crazy history. Well, today the building where this Katana restaurant is located, and I believe it's still owned by Ryan Seacrest and Tori Spelling, what's now known as the Piazza del Sol was once known as the Hacienda Arms Hotel. Now this was built in the 1920s, and it was an actor's hotel, or an actor's apartment, that at one point one of the most famous actresses in the world, Marie Dressler, lived here. Jeanette MacDonald lived here. But that's not really what it was famous for. You see, in the 1930s, the suite here was occupied by a woman named Lee Francis. And Lee Francis ran what was called the most famous brothel in California. For a decade, up in this suite, Lee Francis would run a place what she called the House of Francis. Now, Lee would go all over the world and she would explore the exotic ways of the world and bring them back to her brothel. They said that she would always have champagne chilled, she would always have Russian caviar, and she would have some of the most elite names in Hollywood as guests. One of the most famous, surprisingly, was Jean Harlow. They said that Jean Harlow would not only come here to be with these beautiful women, but sometimes would pay Lee $500 to let her go home with a customer. They said that she had a kind of an insatiable appetite for sex, but you also have to remember that Jean Harlow died at a very young age, in her mid-20s, so it's probably not that uncommon to hear something like that. But they also said that this was a frequented place by people like Spencer Tracy, Errol Flynn, and Clark Gable. So much so, they said that in the Hollywood Fixers book that the Fixers had to spend a lot of time here clearing up messes, and in fact MGM had an account, a house account here, they said, under a fake name. And they also said that Spencer Tracy at many times would get drunk and disorderly here and they would have to have Eddie Mannix and the guys come and whisk him away before anything happened. Now you often might wonder, well, if this was the most famous brothel in California, how did they never get busted? Well, During that time in the 30s, the police department was rather corrupt. It's kind of reported around here in California and Los Angeles. And so she just paid them off. They said that she would give about 40% of her earnings to the police department, and if they ever did do just a fake raid, she would have that champagne and caviar waiting for them, and nobody would ever get arrested. But come 1940, things changed and they showed up here, they arrested her, and when she went to trial, nobody helped her. All the people that she had helped live out their fantasies and quench that appetite, none of them claimed to know her after that. She ended up going to jail and actually wrote a book about her life. So look up, if you're interested, Lee Francis. I think it's called Women on Call. But after that, the scandal hit, and this building kind of, history says, fell into disrepair for quite a while and fell out of the limelight until about the 70s, when Rod Stewart, the rocker Rod Stewart, bought the building in the hopes of turning it into a, he was going to turn it into a hotel, and something happened where there was this big legal dispute, and it stopped him from turning into the hotel. Now what I read online was, they said that in, I believe it was 1984, there was a fire here, and that was kind of right after that whole legal battle had gone on, so people said it was kind of suspicious. There have been suspicious rumblings of, you know, what might have been, but I thought it was kind of interesting that at one point it would have been a brothel, then it would be, and it would also be an apartment building for famous actors and actresses, that it would then be owned by a rock star. But the story doesn't end there, because when I used to work at Jerry's Famous Deli and worked in the delivery, I used to have to come here all the time, because this was one of the central, if not the central office for Miramax. The irony, right? Yeah, the irony that Miramax would be operating this. But yeah, like I said, during the 30s and that boom, some of the studios had house accounts here, and they were frequent visitors here, so I guess some things in history just never change. I mean, you can tell it's still a magnificent building. All the little touches and archways and everything still have that beautiful class of the 20s and 30s, but you'd never really know. I mean, they even said, you know, I had first found out about this in the documentary about the Sunset Strip, and they even say in there, this story, the House of Francis, is just not something that most people talk about when it comes to the Sunset Strip. So I had been reading about it for, you know, I think I saw that 2 years ago. I've been wanting to do this vlog and just trying to find different information and different accounts of things that happened here. It's just been kind of interesting to to know that Hollywood's history just keeps, I mean, it just never disappoints. There's entertainment around every corner. And then, like I said, right next door would have been Ciro's. So you can imagine what kind of debauchery would have went on. People would have gone and partied at Ciro's all night and then came over here and, you know, basically paid for a beautiful girl. Now, they said that she basically staffed this out of, as you might have guessed, starlets that came out here looking for a studio contract and didn't find it. What they did find was a job working here in one of the many rooms that had different themes. Like I said, some would be themed after the Orient, some would be Russian themed. They said there was even a soundproof room here for the kind of crazier things, but girls that worked here could make $1,000 a week. It would be interesting to see what this building looked like. I wasn't able to find any old pictures, but what it would have looked like when it was originally built, because like I said, they had that fire in '84, but before Rod Stewart had bought the building with his partner, you know, they said that it had went into disrepair, and he sank $1.5 million with his partner into restoring it. So it just kind of makes you wonder. And then the fire happened after they halted the restoration. It kind of makes you wonder, you know, after $1.5 million of restoration, what this looked like before. And Rod Stewart was actually robbed here It said in 1982, while he owned the building, he was leaving with his daughter and was robbed at gunpoint and they stole his Porsche. So, yeah, I guess I can understand why he would have wanted to get out, but I guess the lawsuit was really over the two partners. Him and his partner, I guess, were basically claiming that each other were trying to nudge the other out of the business, and eventually it just, you know, it all fell apart. Crazy history. The Hacienda Arms, it was then known as the, I think the Coronet, and now it's the Piazza del Sol. And that's where the old House of Blues used to be. No longer there anymore. That building right there is the famous, it's now called the Andaz, but it was known as the Hyatt House. The famous Hyatt House of the 70s where all the Led Zeppelin stories came out of. Now, like I said, I've been lucky enough to get to go inside the Piazza del Sol, and it is a beautiful building. I went there when Miramax was in there, and they still very well may be in there, but I just thought that was kind of ironic of the crazy history of that place, and that movie studio companies and production companies would occupy it now, especially, you know, one with, you know, the Weinstein connection. Check this place out. Camp Sunset Doggy Day and Night Camp. Looks like they have a whole playland inside there that I could drop Jaw off and he could play here if he wanted to. We'll have to come vlog that sometime, see what it's like. And then there are the usuals at the Saddle Ranch. That guy's always here hanging out. Ha ha ha. Kind of a touristy place. Actually, there's no kinda about it. That place is 100% tourist. When I took some of my friends in there, the one and only time I went in there, the entire time from the moment we sat down to even before we ordered our food, they were trying to bring over things that are sold in their gift shop to our table to have us buy them. They're like, oh, do you want us to bring some shirts over, the mugs? Do you want to look at all the... I was just like, unbelievable. Now, I definitely haven't forgot. I will do it another day, but I still have to tell the story of what used to be here. Now, they say that was the most famous brothel in California and on the Sunset Strip, but it wasn't even the only brothel. Go figure. So they used to have a lot of brothel parties up in private houses up in the hills. And that used to be the Garden of Allah. I know sometimes you guys are looking for something new to try, and here's something new you might want to try. You know, I get the Boca Java coffee, and I got a shipment today, and there was Snickerdoodle. Snickerdoodle. You might want to try it. Well, John, I have some plans for the rest of the day, so I'm going to call it a day here. Thank you, Cynthia Charlton, Tad Howington, and Susan Smith for becoming Patreons. And thank you all for watching. We'll see you all tomorrow. Have a great night, and goodbye.